start flashing, as the Jones second has done again, your opponent can pile things up. Also, when you're down 3 hits in a hitting end, you're really only counting on getting 1.
That's right.
Hit. So you can play 1 hit end to get rid of the hammer, but then you got to come up with a different strategy to steal. Hitting is not the way to steal.
Absolutely.
And not the way to get back. 3 is not a big deficit after only 2 ends, but you can't keep doing that and stay in it. This is a draw from the, I think it's a draw to split the house from the wildly dressed third on Team iRock.com.
Skip is rather wildly dressed.
The Skip has got some nice plaid trousers there, but these swirly psychedelic ones that she's got are pretty impressive.
Those are pretty impressive.
It reminds me of the flaming Chuck Taylor curling shoes that I used to wear. They were
calling for the hit
groovy, but they were cold. I think she is calling for the hit of the top one, which, again, is a mystery to me. Maybe she's calling for the double.
Double is certainly there, but again, that sort of leaves her open.
It's not
and
really
exposed.
big hit weight, and Rick appears to have cranked that rock,
Sweepers
gotten it started.
right
Sweepers
away.
are on it right away. There they go, and I think we'll get the back one as Jason and I would have recommended in the first place.
Yeah, I think that the hit.
But I think they're not going to. Well,
the
what they should do is roll behind, and they don't really get enough of the roll.
They swept it as much as they could, but still ended up curling a bit too much to get a nice roll back towards cover. And Red going for another takeout. This is the Red Vice, Rocky and Broomwinkle, Alana Steinhardt, about to deliver her rocks. Or her second rock, rather. She is also sporting some snazzy curling shoes with some fun-colored grippers to match her pants.
She seems to have missed the broom wide. And as we all know, on sheet A, if you get wide of the broom, your rock is never coming back. So she has flashed on the wall side of that yellow rock she was trying to hit. And what Magic should be calling for is a hit of the top yellow one, instead of which she appears to be trying to draw in front of the yellow one that she's already got.
Mm-hmm.
A hit on the top red one, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would agree with you that the hit on the red seems like a better opportunity to try and score 2 here.
At least 2.
What they really need.
The safe place to hit that red rock would be just outside of nose and then roll over in front of the yellow one that you've got, leaving a difficult double. She doesn't have a way to hit and split the house.
It does look like Rick's about to give her what she's asking for.
I think he's given
Although
her
it
a
doesn't-
shade more weight. A shade more weight than she asked for, but
Oh.
he did in fact draw right down. Yellow is not quite counting 2.
Not quite counting.
And the yellow rocks are not quite frozen. So tragically, if Mr. Jacobson of Team iRock.com, tragically for Magic that is, if Mr. Jacobson can make his hit just inside of nose, I think both of those yellow rocks go, and red sits 2.
Mm-hmm. So there is definitely an opportunity for a jam here. With yellow
There's
into
opportunities
yellow.
for jams, yellow into yellow, and then yellow, the back yellow one, the remaining yellow one.
But even the
will be
jam
relatively
will
well
likely
protected.
Hold Magic to 1. But we'll see how it turns out.
No matter what happens, Magic is going to have to draw at least once to get her points. There's that jam we were talking about. Yellow into yellow, but the top one stays. The shooter, the red shooter, rolls over and hangs in there. So if Magic doesn't make this hit, red hits to lie 3. I gotta tell you, I don't like this ice that they're talking about. Rick says, we need more ice, didn't you see how mine curled? Which is a fair point. His did curl quite a lot. I think I would be coming outside in, but that might just be me.
From the wall?
From the wall. I would probably put the broom quite close to the red rock, but on the wall side.
Are they going for the hit here? The ice
I think
makes it
your
seem-
choices are go for the hit or
replay the guard.
understand that you're going to have to draw with your second shot and try to draw around with your first shot so that you get it in your head. It's fine ice for a downweight hit or for a guard of the yellow one she's already got, so we're not really sure what the call is, and we'll have to wait to see her let go of the rock. Oh, he is drawing behind. Well, in that case, I hate the ice. I don't think it's enough ice for the drawing behind.
It looks like he might be suggesting that they try the draw instead now to Magic. It looks like she's deciding on whether or not she wants to do that or remain with the original call. She's contemplating it quite a bit. Looks like they decided for the draw.
Oh, so we've changed the ice.
Yes,
And I'm glad, because I don't think that was enough ice. And neither did Rick. It's a lot of weight for a draw, though.
It is,
Oh,
but they haven't been
Magic.
throwing much down this line, so it's hard to predict if it's going to slow down or not.
I think it is going to neither bury nor stay in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, there it goes. It's actually not as much too much as I thought.
But it's not.
So
not-
depending what the red team does, well, they're going to make their hit. They will only be lying 2, and she can do the draw again for a single. But if by some freak accident red misses this open hit, which, as we know, in 5 and under curling, freak accidents happen all the time.
Well, and again, you are curling on sheet A.
On sheet A at 8 in the morning.
In this direction, and the hits can be a little bit tricky on the left
So-
side of this.
In that case, Magic will have a hit for 3.
Which would put them right back in.
Put them right back in the game. That's good hit weight from the IROC skip. The sweepers are not on it yet. There they go. Vice has called them on, but right off again.
Oh, that.
And it looks like
They did
They
make the
doubled.
hit. Oh, and this is. Wow.
so
Puts
Magic
in
draws
there.
against 3.
Granted, she has a lot of territory to draw into.
Frankly, she could also hit that top red one and stick for 1. She gets the same single point either way.
Sure.
She just needs to have a healthy bite of the 8-foot if she draws, or hit and stick if she hits.
She did just throw a draw. It was a little bit heavy. In that case, do you think that it would be better for her to do the same shot she just did and go
I
up a little
always
bit, or
think
go
doing
for the
the
hit?
same thing you just did is a better idea than doing something different. But depending on the confidence that you have in your ability to modulate what you just did, you might want to do something that you generally feel better about.
Yeah, and Rick is
So you
definitely
could really
calling
go either
for the
way
draw
with
again.
this. But Rick is calling for the draw again, which I think is the sensible call.
I think you're right.
So Magic Jones is in the hack trying to draw to the 8-foot for a single point against 3. If she gives up the steal of 3, she will have an uphill fight for the remaining 5 ends of this game, down 6.
This one looks about the same weight as her last one, so
It's also hard to tell about the weight with people who throw with the stabilizer, though. Their slide is so different from those of us who throw with the broom, you just never can tell. But you're not wrong, the sweepers are not touching
Oh, now
their
they are.
hero. They
are on
weren't
it.
touching that rock for a long time. Here they come. As we say in the trade, any 8's a good 8.
There you go.
There you go. Top 8, nice adjustment, Magic.
Well done.
Yellow takes a single point to avoid going into the kind of hole that is very difficult to dig out of. On sheet B, red took 1. Team Burns took 1 in the 3rd. And on sheet C, David Baxter, the skip of Team Fantastic Four, is in the hack to throw the first skip rock of the end, as yellow has hammer. Thank you, Jason. I do not need water, juice, or coffee, but I appreciate the offer. So, back over on sheet A where Jason has gone to get coffee, and I'm afraid I don't know how to switch the cameras. So you'll have to bear with us for a moment while only the long view and not the top-down camera shows the house that we're looking at. Magic has called for a centerline guard to try and steal in this fourth end, and she's got one. That's a great shot from her lead.
Sorry.
Rebecca Baxter is off to the grocery store in case anybody needs anything. Now would be a great time to, well, 10 seconds from now, I guess, would be a great time to say so. Jason, can you switch this top-down camera to be the home end? Or shall we call for Monique?
I think it, yes.
Do I need to press that button?
I can push that button.
Jason is taller than I am, so we're going to have him press the overhead button.
There we go.
Team Jacobson has called for a red corner guard and got it as well. So far, 4 out of 4 for both leads. Here comes Magic's lead again with his long slide, who I may have called the second before because I'm just so used to men throwing even-numbered positions in mixed curling. But this being a team skipped by a woman, of course, the men are throwing lead and third.
Magic's skip's name is Mark, and Magic's lead's name is Mark Kenny.
Mark Kenny and his long slide. And he's just made a quite nice draw behind the guard he threw before.
Absolutely.
It's hard for me to say how lined up they are.
Jacobson is calling for a freeze and not a hit.
He's calling to follow it right down because Mark's rock has just come a little bit behind the tee line. He's in the back 4. So a draw down to it will leave red lying shot in a way that's very difficult for yellow to come back from. This does not look like
doesn't look like
a
it's got the
freeze to
curl,
me.
and it's heavy.
It's much too much weight and therefore doesn't have the curl. So again, a flash on sheet A. This tricky draw weight has been a challenge for so many teams this weekend.
Magic calling for the guard that's biting. So
Guard, the one we've got. The way to steal is to take 1 point at a time and just kind of one them to death. So Magic is calling for a biting guard. Don't leave him a double.
And that weight looks quite a lot. Magic's got her hand up, calling the sweepers off. Probably going to slow down quite a bit, and it's lost a lot of traction really fast. So
the ice at Chesapeake is much, much heavier than the ice here at Potomac. So often Chesapeake curlers, or it is historically much heavier. The last couple times I've played there, it's been quite fast and very difficult to read.
And that guard is neither biting
lanes.
nor actually guarding, so that's not a great result.
That's maybe 1 for IROC. Maybe.
Jacobson
Well, the reason I brought up the speed of the ice at Chesapeake is that often curlers from that club have difficulty adjusting to our ice here.
Well, it's,
this is a big hit coming down from Rocky and Broomwinkle. And Rex on the guard, which is fine. Getting the guard out of the way, they certainly don't mind. Because if Magic's second is going to have the kind of difficulty we've seen her have with guards and draws, Jacobson can be relatively confident that he will not have the same guard to deal with for his next shot that he did. She's calling to put it back.
Very little ice on this guard. So I think she's suspecting it to be pretty straight.
Good morning, Kim. Yes, everything does seem to be running smoothly. It looks to me like the second, whose name I can't remember still, from Magic's team.
Heather Bernard?
Heather Bernard, that's right. Struggles some with the broom, often getting outside of it. So her rocks take a little while to come back. She's done a nice weight adjustment and a nice broom adjustment, frankly, and left the 2 rocks perfectly vertically lined up. That's awfully impressive.
And the I thought that was a little not enough ice for that guard, but it turns out it ran a little bit straighter than I suspected, and Magic was right on with that ice call.
So I like the setup of these rocks.